All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back for another awesome episode. This one's going to be a solo one, all about 5 ways to eat more protein. Now, I know that on the surface, this is like just let's eat more protein. How hard could it be? But we're still not eating enough on average throughout the entire country. I'm speaking from the US. Now, what's the missing pieces? Obviously, there are some things that people are not doing that is making a big difference for those that implement them and is leaving a lot of people in a crappy situation who are not. And protein is one of the best things you can incorporate in your diet for a number of different reasons, which we're going to talk about. So, I'm going to be giving you these tips that don't get talked about enough. So, hopefully, it will make a difference for you. So, first off, why the heck would we want to even eat more protein? Like, isn't it bad for us? Like, isn't too much protein bad for your kidneys? Well, turns out no, unless you have bad kidneys. Now, for the average person, for the healthy person, you can eat a lot of protein, and there is really a very high upper limit to the point where most people can't even eat too much if they tried. So, that being said, why do it? Okay. First off, more muscle. We know it helps with recovery. It helps with all this good stuff as far as muscle building. And then number two, stronger bones, being able to have denser bones, something that is very important, especially in midlife and beyond, when we have things like osteoporosis, sarcopenia, those scary words that result in us losing quality of life. So you don't want that to happen. Next is easier weight loss. When you're on a weight loss journey, eating enough protein does tend to fill you up more, and it makes the whole process just feel so much more easy instead of being starving all the time. Because contrary to popular belief, you don't need to suffer and be starving the entire time on your diet to see results or to earn it. Okay. Next is better immune function. Believe it or not, you actually are better off and in a better position with your body to fight off disease and to fight off sickness. So if you always have a case of the sniffles like all the time and you are constantly battling a cold and then you improve or you increase your protein intake, you very well may reduce the instances or eliminate a lot of that stuff completely. Now, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but hey, it's worth a shot, right? Next is improved brain function. You will experience cognitive benefits by increasing the amount of protein. It is just one of those things that is so good for your body in many different ways. And next is heart health. Okay. It can help prevent high blood pressure and keep a lower cholesterol or reduce your cholesterol levels. So your heart will be happier the more protein that you eat, assuming that it's lean and we're not driving our saturated fat and our LDL through the roof. Okay. Now, how much? Now, when it comes to the amount, you're going to see RDAs, which are the recommended daily allowances of like 80 grams a day or 100 grams a day, which is fine if you don't want to be deficient. That'll keep you from experiencing like malnutrition. But that being said, it's not what's best. It's what's good enough. If you want what's best and you want to reap all the rewards of having a high protein diet, like better body composition overall and all the benefits that I just listed, then getting closer to 1.6 grams per kilogram daily is about where you want to be. Now, for anybody who's listening and they're like trying to do the calculation, kilograms, pounds, what the heck is that? Don't worry, I got you. It's 0.72 grams per pound of body mass. Now, it really is your lean body mass that you want to take into account when making this calculation. So, if you have access to a DEXA or an in-body scanner or something that'll give you your lean body mass number, you can do that. The Navy method, if you have access to a tape measure, you could do that. But just go with goal body weight if you want to keep it simple. Like I said, if you go higher, then it's really not a bad thing. So, multiply your goal body weight by 0.7, and that's about how many grams you want per day. Now, how the heck do we do that? First and foremost, number one is let it go. Okay. For anybody who's watching on YouTube or in the Fit 40 family, okay, this is the Frozen picture from the music. And I am not going to sing it for you other than that. But when I say let it go, I mean let go of the way that you are used to eating. Because the biggest problem is that people just will not budge on how they normally eat. This is a case of that resistance, that inner toddler saying, I don't wanna. Like when you say, okay, why don't we go from one egg to two? It's real simple. It's not going to make that big of a difference. But in my experience, talking to people, they're like, but I'm just not that hungry in the morning. I'm just not used to eating this way. And it's like, yeah, that's why you struggle. So if you open up your mind a little bit, okay, be open to change, give it a go, and embrace it, then it will be much easier mentally to apply all the other things I'm about to talk about. So this is like the big one is just be ready for change. Okay. And just know your body will need to adapt. It will feel very, very full. And again, if you're on a weight loss journey, this is awesome because being full makes it easier to stick to your plan. And on top of that, when you have a higher breakfast in particular, when you have a heavier breakfast, and that's where more of your calories come from, you're less likely to snack and binge later in the day. So this has a lot of benefits. But again, this is going to feel a little uncomfortable in the beginning. Just be ready for that fullness. It might be a little bit of GI discomfort, but that being said, if you take it slow and rev it up over time, that can mitigate a lot of that. So just don't go from eating 10 grams of protein at breakfast to like 50 and be like, oh, this hurts. Like, I'm never doing this again. Well, obviously. Okay. So go incrementally, add a little bit. So if you do 1 egg right now at breakfast time, do 2 eggs. If you do 1 scoop of protein, try a scoop and a half. So little stuff like that will make a big difference. And then as you can rev that up, it will, again, mitigate the stuff that I just talked about. All right. So get that mind right first and foremost. Next is try some simple habits. Like when it comes to the number side of things, it can get really annoying with basically getting into that rabbit hole of paralysis by analysis and overthinking everything. One of the simplest things you can do to get enough protein throughout the day is to use your palm. Now, when it comes to your palm, I'm talking about your palm only, not your thumb and your fingers. Like, just when it comes to what I'm about to talk about, it's just your palm. If you were to cut off your hand at the wrist and then all of your fingers and your thumb. Okay, so if you're getting meat, use your palm as reference to be like, okay, I need about this much. Now, if you can get one palm size at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, awesome. If you can get 2 palm sizes, then that's even better because palm sizes usually range around like 3 to 5 ounces of meat. So if you're getting 3 to 5 ounces, that's usually around 15 to 25 grams of protein. So let's call it 20 in the middle. We'll say on average, you're going to get about 20 grams of protein per palm. If you can get 3 breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 60 grams right there. Bang. Awesome. If you can get 2, that's 120 grams right there. And not even taking into account what comes next, which is whole foods. Because when it comes to eating a mostly whole food based diet, you're going to get residual protein. So when you eat something that is deemed a whole food, something like lean meats, the vegetables, fruits, legumes, all this other stuff, pretty much everything you see in the produce aisle has protein in it. Not a whole lot, but it does add up. So if you're going from, say, eating white bread to all of a sudden now you're eating whole wheat bread, you're getting an extra couple of grams of protein in there, and that's going to add to the overall total. So it's going to be easier to get enough, like we just mentioned. Now, that being said, I put up a Whole Foods picture right here. Honestly, for most people, don't bother shopping there. It's overpriced and it's really no added benefit. When it comes to the whole organic thing, it's pretty much been debunked at this point to be no different, no added benefits, and it really is just more expensive for no added benefit. There's no reason to get organic over Whole Foods unless there is a specific pesticide that you are sensitive to or have an issue with that you know has been sprayed on that food. There's no reason to avoid it. And for a lot of people who are struggling financially right now, we're not in an easy time. Going the route of frozen vegetables and canned stuff and things like that can make a world of difference. And you can get extremely healthy eating things like that. So when it comes to what foods to pick whole foods, but pick the ones that are in your budget. And if you want to get organic, that's great and all, but doesn't make you any better. Just know that. And there's really no added benefit at this point. Okay. So when it comes to the types of whole foods we want to aim for, like I said, we want meat, fish, eggs. Okay, another thing when it comes to the POM thing, because I know obviously everybody's not going to be eating meat. Okay. A lot of times when it comes to the POM, these will usually hold up. So like one scoop of protein is usually about 20 grams of protein. So we'll count that as a POM. Okay. Uh, 2 cups of yogurt, because yogurt's usually around that like 8 to 10 grams if you're getting Greek yogurt. Okay. Because the Greek yogurt will have more protein in it than a regular one. And especially if the fat is really low, whatever's left in yogurt is usually very, very high protein. So if you can get 2 cups of yogurt, that would count as one palm size, because that would get us to about 20 grams of protein. And that being said, when it comes to 20 grams of protein, that's kind of the deal right there, where it's like, okay, as long as it has 20 grams of protein, we can count this as a palm. So if it's something I didn't mention, but it does hit that 20-gram mark, then awesome. Now, when it comes to the 20 grams and picking your battles as far as food goes, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to, especially the plant-based and vegan community, pushing plants for protein. When it comes to the types of foods you're eating as it relates to protein, you always want to keep in mind the other factors, like how many calories come with this much protein. Because otherwise, if you eat something that has a lot of protein, but it also has a lot of calories, that's going to keep you from losing weight, or it could even lead to gaining weight if that is again going against your goals. Now, if you are trying to gain weight, like if you are under where you want to be and you want to start putting on some weight, then awesome. Like go that route and get the calories, but get the protein as well. But considering most of the people that do listen to this, that are in the Fit 40 family that I talk to, are trying to lose weight, okay, it's very important to know. Like, for example, peanut butter is one of those things that people praise. They're like, oh, it's great for protein and things like that. Well, this is per 100 grams. For 100 grams of peanut butter, you do get 22 grams of protein, which is awesome. That checks the box, right? But you also get 51 grams of fat. And for those of you that don't know, protein is 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram. So you have more grams of fat, which are almost double the amount of calories that the protein is. So for that 100 grams of protein, you're getting almost 600 calories. Now, when you go to a chicken breast, okay, for 100 grams, you get 30 grams of protein, which is 8 grams more than the peanut butter. The fat content is only 4.5 grams as opposed to the 51. And overall, this means that you're getting 173 calories compared to the 600. And along with that, you're getting more volume for less calories, because they are the exact same size and weight, but you're getting less calories with it. So you can eat more of it and fill your stomach up on more, which allows you to get that sensation of food pushing against the inner lining of your stomach, which sends a signal up to your brain that says, hey, we're filling up. And when you can do that on less calories, that will help you lose weight if that's your goal. All right. Next is tracking, because what gets measured gets managed. We see this all the time when it comes to step count, for example. If somebody was not tracking their steps, but all of a sudden they do, they've literally done studies on this where they say, okay, I just want you to put a tracker on and just see how many you get. Nothing else, literally nothing of, oh, here's how to get more steps. Here's what you should be doing. They said nothing, just gave them a tracker and said, have at it. Just see what you get. Okay. Just by tracking, people added 2,000 steps to their day, just by being aware of it, because it subconsciously makes you start to think, how can I get more? How can I get more? Oh, this got me a lot. Why don't I do more of that? Same with like when it comes to money. If you budget, if you set a budget for yourself and say, I have X amount to spend this month, then you usually, if you keep your promises and you stick to your budget, will end up spending less. And even if you do go over your budget, you usually end up spending less than you would have if you didn't keep a budget at all. So when it comes to your protein, just start tracking. Figure out what things have a lot of protein in them for the lowest amount of calories. And when you figure out what those sources are, those lean sources, that's what we're talking about. Those sources that are packed with protein, that don't have a ton of fat or carbs, that are in that lower calorie category, those are going to be the ones that you want to lean on. And if anybody's familiar with Weight Watchers, this is usually the protein sources that they deem zero point foods. So stuff like that can help if you want to reference it and use that as your guide, feel free. But obviously they're not 0 points. They're not 0 calories. So you always have to figure it into your calorie budget throughout the day. And then last but not least is to actually put some action behind all of this. Now, I say the best way to do it is to get involved in a challenge. And luckily, I'm doing a free one right now in the Fit 40 family that is all about protein. And we're going to be doing it for the month of August. So if you're done just listening to this stuff and still staying stuck and still feeling like, all right, I'm going to do this one day, if you want to cut the bullshit and actually start doing the damn thing and do it for free, then this is for you. Okay. So when it comes to the details, it's going to start up on Monday, August 5th, and we're going to run it for 14 days. And it's going to be done on Sunday, August 18th. So you get 2 weeks to really dial it in and really solidify that habit so that way you can keep it going well past the challenge. And along with that, there is stuff available like the free app upgrade, or sorry, not the free app upgrade. If you want to upgrade to the app, it's $10, and I'm going to put it all in a pot. So whoever does buy the app upgrade will be eligible to win all of the money that people spent on the app collectively. So if 10 people win, you threw $10 in, you win $100 for that. So if you're interested in possibly even winning some money, then this is your place to be. You want to get in on this. And if you're catching this late, don't worry. We do challenges like this every single month. So if you're hearing this in September, October, or who knows when, then get your butt in the Fit 40 family. We're going to have another challenge like this roll around probably in a week or two from when you're listening, if we're not doing it already. Okay. So like I said, got to be in the Fit 40 family to join to get all the information that you're going to need. So if you're on Facebook, then you can look it up there. But if you want to, if you're listening to the podcast or you're on YouTube, just go to the description or the show notes. The link will be right there. You click away, and then I will be messaging you and saying welcome anyway. So when I say welcome to the group, just let me know you're interested in the challenge and I'll give you all the details that you need. All right. That is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all same time, same place next week. But until then, go kick some ass. I'll see you later.